Hi there, my name is Sara and I'll lead you today through this topic, which is all about supporting individuals and children who mouth beyond the age of 3. This video is part of a bigger project that includes public events, printed guide, and this video. All of this is possible because of support and funding by Office for Product Safety and Standards, who are there to protect people and places from product-related harm. They're also here to ensure that all consumers can buy products with confidence. This project is brought to you by 4 amazing women. I have Andrea Buckley, who is Lou's mother and the founder of Lou's Legacy. I also have Sarah Ryan, who is a pediatric nurse and also an owner of Mini First Aid Merseyside. I have Michelle Blake with me. She is an owner of Wonder Neurodiversity CIC. And there's myself, Sara Mursic. I am a founder of Toyscope. This project is the result of months of work that included listening to voices of parents and community that led us to create this video and the printed guide that you'll be able to see. Toy regulations and standards are amongst the most complex and strict ones we have. This is due to young children being most vulnerable consumers and users of these products. There is a difference between standards that we use for those under the age of 3 and those over the age of 3. So around that threshold of 36 months, children of typical development would naturally use their mouth to explore, stimulate and regulate a bit less. So from around 2 years old onwards, they would mouth less. Equally, our standards and safety regulation follows that by relaxing some of the very strict regulations in that area. So we see a difference under 3 years old and over 3 years old. However, some children and individuals will continue to mouth even beyond that threshold of 3 years old. For them, there is a very big safety gap. Those items which are designed for children and individuals above the age of 3 are allowed to have certain sharp edges, small parts that could be choking hazards, and could involve and be made out of materials that could leach some chemicals into their mouth and system. We need to be aware of the risks and advocate for those children. That's where you come in, and to advocate for your child, to understand the risks and to be their expert. Let's now talk about who are the people, individuals and children who are mouthing beyond that age of 3. We know from what we heard from you in our public events, as well as our experience and research, that there is around 1/3 of autistic population, children between 3 and 16, who will continue to mouth for exploration, stimulation, regulation beyond age of 3. There is also around 1/4, a quarter, of population of children with intellectual disabilities that will continue to mouth beyond the age of 3. There is a big overlap and nuance to this data. However, just in comparison, there is less than 10% of children of typical development that would continue to mouth around that age. So there is a big gap and there's a big population of children and individuals that we are talking about in this video. Now let's talk about why do these individuals mouth objects and toys? What does it give them? What is the need behind that behavior? We know for a fact that mouth as a sensory organ gives us so much information. When you think about it, if you would need to identify an object and you would feel it with your mouth, you would be able to feel temperature, shape, size, texture, so many different bits of information. Equally, for children, it gives them such great variety of sensory input. But that's not all. It also helps us calm the nervous system. That is, for example, why babies and young children will be using a dummy to calm themselves in maybe some more anxious situations. Just as another example, A lot of older children, even adults, will use their mouth and mouthing behaviors to improve their concentration and focus. You can see that in classrooms with people who are chewing on their pens whilst they're concentrating on something that they're listening. There's a lot of things and a lot of reasons why someone might be exhibiting these mouthing behaviors and stimulating, regulating, or exploring through this. Toy packaging, their age and warning labels cannot capture the uniqueness and diversity that we have in this population. We all uniquely have our preferences, our sensory worlds, our ways to play, our understanding of the world, and each day is different. So it's almost impossible for these few age labels and warning labels that we have to describe that diversity in this population. That's where you come in, and that's why you need to be aware of all this, learn about these risks so you can advocate for your children, you can pick the right choices for them. So thank you for the time that you're spending on this video, and let's dive into something more practical.